Hello friends, welcome to Thailand Cancer Treatment Part 2. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for their comments and messages of support. It means a lot to me. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that notifications bell. It was brought to my attention that some people that end up watching this may not really know my background or know much about me. And so I thought that this would be a good opportunity just to add a few things in there, just to make it a little bit more informative, so as people can get something out of it, and perhaps someone will make a good decision down the track as a result of this. Would be fantastic. Now, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that we all predominantly take our health a little bit too much for granted. With all the stimuli out there, distractions and opportunities, it's easy and natural, I guess, to look to wrestle back time with taking some convenient options. So I'm mainly talking about food and diet here, and the food companies love it. Each year they want to sell us smaller servings and fancier wrappers, maximizing their profits, but at the same time minimizing our health. The processed food market out there is just getting bigger and bigger. When food is processed, it's done to kill all the germs and standardize the product, which all sounds pretty good, but it generally kills all the nutrients and all the vitamins in there. So in order for that company to sell it, or at least sell more of it, they synthesize one or two of those nutrients, say vitamin C or vitamin D, for example, and then they pump it back in there, put it on the flashy wrapper, and we're supposed to believe that it's now a superfood. Okay, so this is just one of the ways that our health can be jeopardized. The other is our perceived lack of time, as I mentioned earlier. More specifically, the amount of time that we take looking after ourselves, mentally and physically. I suggest that we're also busy getting stuff done or retreating into a moment of instant gratification, that we don't really become aware of what's really important, and that is our connection to people and our own health. Okay, so that's as far as I want to go with this subject. It can be a pretty deep subject. I would be interested in your comments, but the question is, how does this apply to myself and others, and what can we learn from it? I grew up in New Zealand and moved to Australia in 2003 at the age of 27. In 2005, my son Jack was born, and in that same year I started work at a car dealership in Mackay, Queensland. It was a great place to work, but as is usual in the automotive industry, the days were busy and the hours were quite long. At the end of the day, it was quite usual that I would go home, relax, have a couple of drinks, and not think too much of it. In my downtime, I also decided though to get back into running. I hadn't been interested in it for a couple of years. With that came a general interest in health. Looking back on it now, I could have done a little bit better, but I still ate pretty well, and obviously I exercised. I didn't have anything wrong with me, no cardio issue, no blood pressure issue, no kidney issue, no autoimmune issue, no allergies. Now, I'm not saying this to impress you, but to impress upon you that even someone that has no symptoms can have something sinister develop and perhaps be cut down at an early age or earlier than expected. Perfect example is bowel cancer. It often doesn't present with any symptoms, and before I knew anything was up, I had stage 4, and I wasn't even 43 years old. In Australia, there's a national bowel cancer screening kit that's available for eligible Australians between the ages of 50 and 74. A kit is sent to them in the mail, and a simple test that they can do at home. In 2020, the estimated new bowel cancer cases was over 15,000. 8,000 male, 7,000 female. This was fourth on the list behind breast cancer, prostate cancer, and melanoma of the skin. Deaths were over 5,300, 2,800 male, 2,500 female. So a screening program is definitely worthwhile. But remember that the screening programs only start at age 50. So if you're under 50, you're responsible for your own health. Should the age be lower? Probably. But with anything, there are costs involved. What I'm getting at is, don't believe that you're in a nanny state where the government will look after you and that you don't have to think for yourself. Yes, the government does want to control its citizens, and it does not want them to buckle the systems they have in place. It doesn't want them to jeopardize what power they've got. Notwithstanding this paradigm, we all have innate freedoms and opportunities to make a good life for ourselves. We have the opportunity for education, the opportunity for employment, and the opportunity to look after ourselves, to look after our own health. Do not squander these opportunities. Do not take them for granted. Most people are miserable as soon as they get a common cold. Can you imagine how it would feel, and would you risk getting something a lot worse just because you think you're too distracted or don't have enough time? Okay, that's enough for this video. It wasn't really an update that I was expecting to do, but it was a few things that I thought might be useful to get out there. So thanks again for watching. Stay safe, but not passive. You have responsibility for your life, but with that responsibility, you get power. You get to control it. So use it.